Happy Hump Day, Ritual Motion fans. I'm back with another episode of Up and Coming, and I got a special guest today. I think you guys are going to enjoy this today. Jordan Chen.
Winning. 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 Winning.
Thank you for joining Up and Coming today. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's been a good day.
That's good. That's good. I don't know if you know what Up and Coming is. I know we just met on the fly, and this interview just kind of just sprung up on both of us, which isn't a bad thing. It's good. I always love talking to new people. Tell us who you are, what you do, and how you got started.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, my name is Jordan Chen. So I have been a dietitian now for about 5.5 years. And when my career started, I worked, I always dreamed of working in a hospital setting and doing tube feedings and all that stuff. I love nutrition, but I like the science behind it too.
Mm-hmm.
And when I graduated, I live in a smaller town, like a 50,000. So I was piecing together all these jobs. And after a few years, I'm like, man, nothing's opening up. So as you may have seen on my social media, it was my 1-year anniversary of opening up my own practice.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So I started my practice officially a year ago, but it was building up when I worked at a cardiology and primary care office. I kind of branched off from them.
Mm-hmm.
So I've grown a lot, and I've added another dietitian to my team recently. I have another one that's starting here in a bit, but I work one-on-one with people, specialize mostly in weight loss, cardiovascular health, diabetes management. So a whole gamut, anything nutrition related, I'm your gal. So.
What part of the world are you at? What part of the U.S. are you at?
I am in Manhattan, Kansas.
Manhattan, Kansas. Okay. So tell me a little bit about Manhattan, Kansas, and why your line of work benefits them. And I mean, pretty much, anybody hits you up on social media, it helps them, but and particularly where you're at.
Yeah. So Manhattan is a little college town of about 50,000 people, 2 hours west of Kansas City. So, being in the Midwest, we love our, more comfort foods. We love our dairy. And, there's a lot of people that probably do struggle with their weight in America in general. I know the Midwest is no exception. So I work with people on developing a healthy relationship with their food while at the same time being able to reach their weight loss or health goals. So there's plenty of people that could benefit from it. It's been a learning curve, trying to market my services, because a lot of people think they know a lot about nutrition, but then when they start meeting, there is a lot more that they could learn, and especially that relationship with the food side of things.
Let's go in a little bit of detail about that. You said there's a lot of people who feel like they know about food, diets, weight loss, but they really don't know the science of it. Because you did say the terminology science before. So talk to me about what are some of the myths that people believe and you have to kind of bust?
Well, I think a lot of it is there's so many fad diets out there, or they think it's an all in or all out, or they have to be extreme about things. And I hate to be the boring person to say, but it really is a balance of everything. Or, you have the keto people, or extreme vegans who think that's healthy. And it's they all have a little seed of truth behind it, but it is a mixture of everything. And I have to kind of understand where that patient's at and how I can implement what realistic changes they can make. Because it is about life, sustainable changes they can make for their life.
Are there any for instance, there's the intermittent, I'm about to say it all wrong. You know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah, intermittent fasting.
Intermittent fasting. I've been doing that for since 2016. Yeah. And I know a lot of people are getting into that's a fad diet, but is that one that people should be taking, or what should you really be doing? What do I need to do to what do people need to do to actually lose weight, eat healthier, and keep the weight off, rather than it's nah, I'm just gonna starve myself for 8 hours, or nope, I'm just not just gonna eat bread.
Yeah, a funny thing you mentioned that, because intermittent fasting, I I technically do as well, but I don't do it in a way that is restrictive. I just listen to my body. I mean, it's like, have you heard like listening to your body, listening to
Mm-hmm.
your hunger and fullness cues? I naturally intermittent fast just because I'm not, super hungry, I guess, in the morning. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't recommend that for everyone. It's not like a hard thing. Like everyone needs to intermittent fast. I just like if it works for you, it works for you. Like it all does boil down to calories in, calories out, but it's how do you get to that point? So your way of getting there is intermittent fasting. Other people, it might be eating more nutrient dense and less calorically dense foods. Other people, they might find keto really satiating or like a high fat, high protein diet really satisfying so they don't feel the need to overeat. So it's just a matter of what can get you to that point.
I don't really eat breakfast. I'm not really hungry in the morning time, and then like during lunchtime, I'll I'll eat I'll eat like a hefty lunch, and then like right now it's 7:30. I'm not hungry. Like I
Yeah.
ate at noon. I'm not hungry.
But you got a
Some
big lunch, right?
I had a. It was sometimes I have a big lunch. Sometimes I can drink a sip of water and be full until tomorrow. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh. Thank you for being on this show so you can help me out. So not
Yeah,
only that you're
I'll
helping
just
out
make
me,
this a personal session for
that's
you.
fine.
Yeah. Yeah, so like that works for you, so I'm not going to nix it. I know there's like a lot of dietitians and I may go against the grain on this a bit with other dietitians, but I don't really care about breakfast or eating right when you wake up or anything like that. Like again, I don't do it myself, so I'm kind of biased.
Mhm.
Like I feel like for me it doesn't work, so I'm not going to force other people to do it, but it's more of a matter of like what you break that fast with. Like if you're gonna have a bunch of sugar and like kind of crappy foods or junk foods, like that's probably not you're probably not gonna feel the best.
Mhm.
So you found what works for you. You feel the best when you have like a larger meal, and that keeps you satisfied. And then you might have something small in the evening. But as long as you're meeting, your energy needs, your protein needs, like getting your micronutrients, fiber, other like everything else, like that works for you, and it's a balance.
So breakfast isn't the most important meal of the day?
That's my opinion, but I guess I feel like there's no like for me, I don't care. Like they're all like just getting enough nutrients per day is the most important. I don't care about the meal or timing of the day. To me, that doesn't matter.
There's people in the chat that says they don't eat breakfast either. But
I
like I don't really I the only time I eat breakfast is like when it's early in the morning and my job supplies it because they eat a lot. And then the bacon and the turkey bacon and the bacon and the eggs be smelling good. And I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to focus, so I gotta eat it. That's the only time I eat breakfast. I don't eat other than that, I
yeah.
don't eat breakfast.
So if it's there too and it tastes good and it's like, okay, I'm gonna eat, I would do the same thing. Like if someone gives me food, I'm probably gonna eat it.
I'm all over the place because like I'm really interested because I'm like, I feel like I'm going to change my eating habits after today. But I'm if mind you, like usually I've stick in a story as I'm talking to you, but I have so many questions to ask you. So what's like the portion control? Talk can you explain portion control? I am bad at that. I am
Oh gosh.
so bad at portion control.
Yeah, I mean, like technically, like I use like my hand as a guideline for like portions. Although everyone's different, so like you probably are gonna need more calories than a child, so your portions will be larger, and that's gonna be like
Mhm.
better for you. But I mean, technically, like a cup of vegetables would be like your clenched fist or a cup, or like a protein. I mean, you probably eat more protein than like three
I
ounces, which is the palm of your
yeah,
hand.
I gotta have a nice big old either burger, steak, chicken. I need more than this
Yeah,
doesn't fill me up. That doesn't fill me up at all.
exactly. So like for portions for you are going to be different than the standardized portions, or a half a cup of cooked vegetables, or a
Mhm.
third a cup of cooked rice or pasta is technically like a portion. And like so yeah, that you can eat over what the portions say for like a standardized portion, but it's a
Mhm.
matter of, I guess, eating till you're comfortably full and
Mm,
it's sustainable. Yeah.
okay. All right. Well, let me ask you this. The whole reason why, people are starting to trickle into the chat, they probably don't care about my diet. They care about they care about their diet. I care about mine because, you know, the camera adds 10 pounds on you, so I care about mine. But people care about their diet. So when is it when people know they need to come see you?
I get a lot of physician referrals. So usually at their checkup, like the doctor will be like, "Hey, you have high cholesterol, high blood pressure, like you need to lose weight," and then they'll refer them to me. And usually there's resistance because they're like, "Nah, man, I got this." But after they meet with me, they're like, "Whoa, this blew me out of the water. Like, you really are gonna helping me. Like, there's more to learn." So I like that. I like I guess blowing people's expectations out of the water. But if it's someone who finds me on Google, they usually are struggling. Like they've tried everything. They have come to a point where they're willing to dish out money to talk to a professional because they've tried the pills, they've tried Google, Dr. Google, they tried Googling everything. They tried every diet possible, every program. And they're just like, I need to figure out what works for me. And that's when they come to a professional. And yeah, that's who I help to.
And you said sometimes you have a lot of pushback, but then when you talk to them, you blow their expectations. I'm pretty sure, I'm guessing the pushback is probably I mean, I got it. I could take some pills. They'll sweat it off, wear a trash bag, run around the neighborhood, something like that. But what are when you sit down and you consult them, what are some of the things, some free tips? You got to get paid. I know you got to get paid, but some free tips for us. That's where we can all walk away from this and be like, wow.
I think where the relationship with food and psychology behind it, obviously we know eat your fruits and vegetables and lean proteins and more whole foods. But I think when I start to talk about the psychology behind it or relationship with food, that really is the key component for them, where they're like, oh, I never thought about it. It's not all in or all out or a light switch. It's a dial. It doesn't have to be perfect. Or not placing your morality with the foods that you eat. You're not a good person for eating a salad, just like you're not a bad person for having a piece of cake. So or listening to hunger cues. Sometimes people think oh, I got to eat my 3 meals a day. And then I'm like, well, are you even hungry? And they're like, no, but it's this time. And I'm like, well, what if you just waited till you're hungry? And then they're like, oh, okay. And then they start to realize this is sustainable and they can actually do it forever. So
I want to stay right there, but I don't want to just tell people about your work. I want to show people about your work as well. But you have a lot of dope recipes. For instance, is this stuffed peppers?
Yes, that is the peppers. I'm going to be 100% honest. I'm going to be really honest with you.
Go ahead.
Too.
Be honest.
I would say about a half a year ago, I did hire an assistant who has taken over some of my recipe development. I used to do all of it on my own. So some of the recipes now are her, and she's awesome. Her name is Kate. But pretty much I work with her. She comes up with a lot of ideas for some of the posts. And this is a stuffed egg pepper. I have another one I did earlier that was, I think it was a low carb, chicken stuffed pepper back in the day. But I'm going to not take credit for Kate's work because she's awesome. She also posts recipes on my page and my website.
How important are recipes? Because I know people want to lose weight. They want to eat healthy. They want to look good. And they be like, man, but food tastes good. Yeah. Food just tastes so good.
Yeah. And you can eat healthy and have food taste good. And it's not to say you can never have your cheese, your McDonald's ever again. It's just a matter of
oh, I don't eat McDonald's.
Or I don't know, you know what I mean? It's not like you can never have a Cheeto or something again. You just have to limit those kinds of things and eat more of the nutrient dense foods. And it's not for recipes, I do try to incorporate more fruits and vegetables or whole foods, lean proteins, and whole grains. But I try to think too, if I want a piece of a treat, I'm going to have it and I'm not going to feel guilty about it. If I want ice cream, I'm going to eat ice cream. But I try to find that balance of what's sustainable. I just rebranded today on the anniversary it was Jordan Chen RDN for all my handles, and some of my business accounts are going to MHK Nutrition Clinic because I've kind of expanded my team. Because obviously I look like a fraud when Kate's doing all my work, and I'm like, okay, but That's me. That one is me. And I'd make my, you can follow my TikTok. So everything on TikTok is me. It's still Jordan Chen RDN on TikTok.
So I don't know, and you know how like when people get on TikTok and they like have like these cooking hacks and like, or like you can have like fast dinner ideas or how to make this. Why did you decide to get on TikTok to show like, I always see like, can you tell me the story? Like maybe you keep seeing that. It's like, maybe I need to do this to show people that they can eat healthy and here's some dope recipes.
Well, I wanted to use TikTok as a platform because I wanted to like have a website where I could have recipes like for my patients, like low
Hmm.
carb or low sodium or heart healthy. At first, went into TikTok pretty much as a video editing app. I wanted to edit my videos there and then post them onto my Instagram because
Hmm.
I'm a visual person. Like
Same.
reading a recipe sometimes it just doesn't do me as much good as if I like saw a quick TikTok of it. So instead of writing out my recipes, I started to use TikTok as a place to
Ooh.
start video editing. Then I was like, I could do these like low effort, funny ones too. So I've been getting into that take much less effort.
Have like what are your like what type of recipes do you like to like make?
Um, I put on my TikTok some of the things I like to make a lot. Like my marinated salmon is super easy. It's so easy. It's one ingredient plus your salmon, and then you air fry it. I really like also like my main smoothie recipes. I like live off of smoothies and like as a meal replacement sometimes for like lunch or
So do,
something.
so do I. So do
Yeah.
I.
uh, at home too, I love cooking. I like to make like my green bean casserole dish. I've never posted that one. I love spaghetti, so I eat spaghetti all the time. And I home make the sauce for that. But I do have two young kids, so sometimes I do make like air fried popcorn shrimp or mac and
Ooh.
cheese for them or stuff like.
Okay. Okay. Does the family like, even though like they're like mom is the, I'm not saying the health nut, but making sure that you're eating great, eating clean, are they on board with it?
Uh, gosh, yeah, I have toddlers, so I try my best, but they're toddlers, so they're toddlers gonna toddle. They really like their mac and cheese and chicken fingers and stuff like that. But I always also offer a fruit and vegetable with it,
Hmm.
so I'm not just gonna feed them just processed stuff. I try to like have it where it's like, okay, you get a balance, or you have some nutritious stuff with some of the stuff I know you're gonna eat. So,
How old are they?
one just turned 3, and the other's 4.5. So.
So what you're pretty much saying is it doesn't start when you're 30 years old or older. It could start as young as toddlers.
Yep. Yeah, just offering them. And it takes sometimes up to 20 times of giving them a food for them to eat it.
Why is that so important? Like to start that young?
I think so they just get familiar with it and become like less picky as they get adults. I'm sure you know some adults that like their
Yeah.
diets are kind of like kids.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
branching out, maybe like mixing up the recipes so that they'll eat it. Like I have a cauliflower pizza recipe, and I know my kids they like pizza, but then I make this
Ooh.
cauliflower pizza crust, and they like that too. So
You talked about you said this is your 1 year anniversary of rebranding. Uh
I'm
why did
rebranding
you
now.
rebranding now? Why did you
Yes.
decide to rebrand?
Because I don't know, I was debating for a long time, like, should I just keep going with Jordan Chen RDN? But I have another person on my team. Her name is Ella. And
Hmm.
instead of making only the focus about me, because my time, I can only see so many people, I was like, well, I have to branch out. I have to have other dietitians also seeing people. So I'm not only promoting myself, I have to promote my clinic in a way.
And even though how long have you been doing this, by the way? I can't remember you told
Um,
us.
being a dietitian, I've been
Hmm.
dietitian for 5.5 years. So
5.5 years. Is there like a goal that you want to like accomplish, that maybe you have your frozen foods in the freezer aisle in the grocery stores, or maybe make a cookbook or be on Devin's TV show in 5 years when I have one? I don't know. Like, what do you have like a goal?
I I don't know. See, I'm playing it by ear. My goal is to, keep growing my business in any way possible. So that's kind of where I was at. I was like, do I grow my brand or do I grow myself? And like,
Mhm.
I'm just a person where, oh gosh, I can't see myself pushing like, a product or program because I like I feel like counseling is really valuable. I don't know, maybe I'm biased, but um, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just like keep growing my practice. But then I did have an aspiration of maybe doing a meal service for my
Ooh.
local community, like, a meal prep service. That
Mhm.
was
Yeah.
something I feel like so many people would benefit from here. But again, there's like so much time in a
Like a
day.
HelloFresh?
Yeah, like, but for like local communities. So it's like not
Gotcha.
frozen or like
Mhm.
mailed, like they can come pick it up or something. But
Wow.
I would love to do that.
That would be dope. You should I know that would be, like, time consuming. Would that be would you, like, have to cook the meals yourself and then
I would
at
probably have to start that way, and also I mean, if you go on my website, you'll read this too. My husband owns a restaurant here.
okay.
However, it
So
is not.
cooking just runs all in the family.
Yeah, his family started that restaurant like forever ago, like in the '90s. But my last name's Chen. He's Chinese. They own a Chinese restaurant
Mhm.
here in town. So like we have the cooking background. It's just a matter. We've talked about it too. Like how do we shift gears to do that? So once I grow up my business to maybe have other dietitians counseling, I might have more time to do that. Not to mention 2 kids. I mean, it keeps me
I mean,
busy.
hey, you got toddlers. You gotta give them the chicken fingers and macaroni and cheese. You gotta make sure there's stuff with that.
Gosh, they love that stuff.
Wh when when you go when I wanna touch on something that you said earlier. You talked about, hunger cues.
Talked
What
about what?
hunger cues.
Hunger cues,
Hunger
yes.
cues, like, what does that entail? Like, are you saying, like, faint, dizziness, or stomach rumbling? Like, how would I know is, like, I know when I'm hungry, but what are some of the things that I should be I'll be looking for when I'm trying to, eat healthy?
Yeah, so like with hunger cues, it's kind of like listening to your body, obviously. So I usually like write out a scale of like 1 to 10 where it's like 1 being starving, you could eat anything, 10 being so full, like Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner where
Okay.
you're just like about to pop.
Mhm.
5 is where you don't feel anything, and I tell people like, try to start eating when you feel your stomach is growling, like around a level 3, and then stop eating when you're comfortably full at a 7. And I know it's hard, and I work with people a lot on working like changing their mindset around food so that they like get it more because it's a lot easier said than done.
Do you have any, like, secret hacks or, like, not secret, but, like, tips and tricks like that as these holidays are starting to roll so people are like, "I want another plate of ribs, but I don't wanna overdo it so I can fit in my bathing suit."
Well, I mean, you could always try to find if there's a healthy side, like load up with like, like if there's like a fruit bowl or something, you could load up on like your fruits or veggies there. But I mean, also if it is like one day, I would say eat until you're comfortably full. Like don't feel like you have to overdo it because the next like meal will always come or like your next holiday will come. So don't feel guilty if you splurge a little bit one day, as long as
Mhm.
like on average you're eating good, like when it comes to like days and weeks and months worth of eating. One day won't ruin it.
Okay. And what about those what about the organic? Is this does that matter? Organic. You see how you chuckle?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to go organic. Is that like do it like is organic or whatever? Does it matter?
Oh, not really in the grand scheme of things. Like,
You're so honest. It's
yeah,
just
I mean, I don't really buy organic. Like, I never buy organic to be honest. Like, I just try to get whatever's more affordable because, like, the more important thing is that you're eating the produce. So, like, if you have a little
yeah.
bit of pesticides, like, they still use pesticides in organic too.
Mhm.
It's just like a different type. So, it won't make a big difference in the grand scheme of things.
I guess that's one thing that blows people's minds too. That you when you go consult you right.
Yeah, there's a lot of they don't I don't get that question a lot. Uh, but
Sorry, journalist in me.
yeah, but there's other things. I mean, I'm struggling to like you'd have to like give me like another question too, like and I'll be like, "Oh yeah," and people are blown away by that fact too. I don't know. Throw
Well,
me
I do want to say, as the time is wrapping up, I do want to talk to you about you being a ritual motion partner. Like, how did you get into that? Like, how did you decide to, you were doing TikTok, you're posting your TikToks on Instagram, on the Instagram reels, and you're posting on your website as well. But how did you decide to become a dietitian content creator, or however you want to call yourself, for ritual motion?
Yeah, so I don't know if you know Greta Camacho.
I will be meeting with her on Monday.
Yeah.
I will be
Oh,
meeting. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, she's awesome. She reached out to me. I knew her when she lived kind of in the area as well, and she has done so awesome with her branding and marketing. I know that she doesn't live in the area anymore, but she had reached out, seeing that I was posting all this stuff,
Hmm.
and now she's the real chica gaming.
Hmm.
Yeah, so she's done awesome for herself. She reached out because she works for this company and was like, "Hey, would you want to be a partner and like start posting here?" And I feel kind of bad because like I've been focusing on the other platforms, and this is kind of my first interaction with this. I'm gonna put up an introductory video still, but yeah, she reached out and I was like, "Yeah, I'd love to," because the more exposure and getting in this world, the digital world, is really cool and a good outlet, I think.
Do you have like do you have like are you going to be doing what you do on TikTok? Are you going to be cooking
I
on your
could.
channel? That would
I
be
could.
dope.
Yeah, I totally could. I was like, should I talk? Do I cook? Do you watch me just like be weird in my kitchen? I don't
You
know.
should. I'm not. Hey, I'm not giving out. What you should do, but it would be dope if you cooked and gave us tips, and then
While I was cooking.
as you were cooking, I was
That's a
like,
good idea.
I would get in the chat. I'm like, I can smell that through the computer.
Ah, that would be awesome. I will definitely do that as long as everyone is cool with how hectic my life is sometimes. Like, as long as they're okay with it. They're not here right now. I have babies. Like, they can help me cook. I'll be like kids cooking in the kitchen.
That that would be awesome. I would turn into that. I don't like seeing like you don't like reading. Not you don't like you rather like
Yeah,
watch it.
visual. I'd rather watch so
Yeah,
much.
you
So
rather
that
watch
would
it.
work
Yeah.
well.
I'm not like a reader. So I rather you write a recipe out to me. I'm like, I don't want to read
No, and on
this.
my website, it's not an option. Maybe with my new revamp, I can do the videos on there. But like, man, I'm such a visual. That's why I started my TikTok. I was like, I'm gonna show people how to make this. I'm not just gonna talk about it. Like, I'm gonna show people.
Do uh, once I get the consultation from you, how do we continue with this relationship to make sure that I'm on the path, on the right
So
track?
was this like our initial consultation? You're my
I guess so. I guess it was. This is for
uh
people. This is for people who want to, who are like been wanting to do it, been like, but now since I'm, asking the question for them, yeah.
Yeah, they can definitely reach out if they want to establish care or like work with a dietitian. Shoot me an email, rdn at Manhattan Nutrition Clinic, or you can like people reach out through my DMs and TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that too. Anyways, fine. And then if I want to follow up with you, I would maybe send some paperwork your way. I'm in the medical side of things, so I technically
Mhm,
have to do it all legit, but
mhm.
it would be established care and follow up.
I want to ask you for a few more questions before I close out. I would be remiss to ask you if what's this? You said you're interested in the science and diets. What do you like? What do you mean? What does the
Like
science look like?
like when you eat something, like how your body absorbs the nutrients or processes them, or like what hormones are secreted, or I don't know, like gut health, like the science behind what happens when you eat something
Mm.
exactly in your body and how it affects you.
What's the weirdest, I guess, myth or a belief? Let's say belief. What's the weirdest belief that you have heard? Maybe you have seen on Dr. Google. Maybe you heard it from a patient. Maybe you've seen it on TV or you read it somewhere. What is the weirdest belief that is just blows your mind, and that if you had the opportunity just to get on top of your soapbox and scream it, you would?
I would. Okay, one of the weirdest things. there's been a lot of weird stuff, but this one's popping in my head, I guess. I even made a TikTok making fun of this. You can look at it. But so I had
I'm gonna
a
follow you. I'm following you on Instagram right now, and I'm gonna follow you on TikTok like right now.
yeah, but I did have a patient who I was working with, and like I feel like every time he came in, it was just like one wild thing he was wanting to try, and like he's like, Jordan, I'm doing the carnivore diet, and I was like,
The
well,
what?
I knew what that was, but I was just so cringy, and I was like, the carnivore diet is you can only have meats, and
Okay.
I think like some types of like like full cream stuff, like you can't have fruits, vegetables, like nothing plants at all.
What?
Yeah,
What's that
yeah.
supposed to do for you?
Yeah, yeah, and I was like, I don't think that's gonna be a good idea because like just like there's like it's only like a pure protein or saturated fat diet. I mean, that's all it is. And I was like, I mean, you need like fruits and vegetables. He's like, no, you don't. That's not what they say online. And I was like, what? He's like, okay, I know. Like they said you would say that. I was like, whatever. Okay, I don't know.
So the carnivore diet, don't do that.
No, and he came back literally 6 days later and was like, you're right, it sucked, and I stopped. Okay, I was like, okay.
I mean, I try to tell you, but okay.
I was like, I will support whatever your decision is. See, I will support you, but I will give you the risks and the benefits of it. I was like, there's not much benefit in doing this.
I'm putting your LinkedIn. Well, first of all, how can people reach out to you and continue with your journey and continue making sure that they can eat healthy and making if they want to connect with you, how can they do that?
Probably follow my social medias, or go to my website. MHK Nutrition Clinic is my Instagram and Facebook. Again, I just changed the names today. And my TikTok is Jordan Chen RDN, and my YouTube right now is still Jordan Chen RDN.
Mhm.
And Facebook, yeah, I told you it's MHK Nutrition Clinic. But you can go to my website, www.manhattannutritionclinic.com. There's more information about me, some recipes, blog posts, a lot of
I
information.
put your LinkedIn tree. So I put your LinkedIn, is your link, excuse me, I said LinkedIn, your link tree in the chat. So people
Yeah.
y'all can go click on that and it takes you to the Facebook, Instagram recipes.
Yes.
There's there's like dope recipes. You got the spicy dry rub, the
Yes.
Mediterranean chickpea salad.
See, my website, my platform is glitching because I had I had like low sodium and like low carb and all that, and only 2 categories are popping up. So there is a glitch, but there's a lot of recipes. Like if you go to the top, you can
I
categorize.
you know what I might check out? I
But
might have to do the jerk salmon with the sauteed peppers and rice.
yes, see, there's so many.
Yo.
I even had like a healthy snack option. My website was glitching though, so keep checking at it because like yeah, see the written out one. I
Yeah,
want one where you can like have a video,
that would hey, I mean, you got the ingredients, the directions, and the nutrition facts. I
I
think it would
see.
be cool,
Just need a YouTube link. Yeah.
Yo, the YouTube link will be dope. I can't wait to see you continue expanding your brand. And when you have your cookbook in like, and I go to like, what is it? Second and Charles or Barnes and Nobles, and you're like,
That's like, there's my face.
there's
You're
your,
not the only person that said
like
that.
I
The other
know
person
her.
behind me has said that too. Yeah, like other people.
I know her.
I
She's the
know.
reason why I lost 10 pounds.
Actually, my job where it branched off was I was at a cardiology clinic and I was hired to like teach cooking classes once a week. And
Ooh.
then I was like, I need a full time job. Let me like start seeing patients. And yeah, it eventually grew to this.
Hey, have you been cooking forever?
I feel like I didn't get into it until probably more after college, honestly, because I feel like I lived off of like processed stuff like earlier on.
Well, let's wrap it up right there. Let's end it right there. So, what was great way to segment to change? What led you to be like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do as a career, and not only do it for as a career, like maybe do it for myself, then turn it into a career to help other folks. When did that like? How did that go about?
Yeah. So back when I went to K-State, when I graduated, I actually was originally interested in medicine. So I was interested in the medical field.
Mhm,
After a year of doing that, though, I was like, oh, I don't know, this is not for me. But I was like, really into nutrition at that time. Looking back, I probably struggled with my own relationship with food too, and I talk about my own struggles with clients all the time.
mhm,
But after I like did some researching, I was like, oh, nutrition and like in the medical field is a dietitian. So not a lot of
mhm.
people know this, but there's a difference between a nutritionist and a dietitian. A dietitian is a licensed professional, and a nutritionist is not a regulated term. Technically, anyone can call themselves a nutritionist in
What's
most.
the I'm not being rude, but what's the difference?
So a dietitian has to go through 4 years of undergrad, and I got my master's. Now you have to get a master's and pass a licensing board and like a credentialing exam, and
Uh-huh.
then you can practice as a dietitian.
But what would be the difference as in like me be like, I saw the nutritionist, I don't need to see you.
Like the difference between
What like, yeah,
like
what
what
would
you need to do. Oh,
y
technically nothing. You can go to a nutritionist and be like,
mm,
oh, I saw a nutrition coach, but like if you want someone who maybe knows the science behind it or is more like legit with their knowledge, oh, and we have to do a 1 year internship like in a hospital
got you.
setting. Yeah, 1 year like internship, a hospital, community management. So it's like a lot of work to be a
So
dietitian.
what you're saying is like as a nutritionist, I'm not, knocking anybody's job. If you want to know like eat healthy and learn how to make healthy jerk salmon saute with sauteed peppers and rice, I mean you can see a nutritionist. But
Yeah,
if you want to know what it's going to do for your body, then
I
you
go
need to
to a
come
dietitian.
then you come see me, a dietitian.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot
Got
of
you.
qualified nutritionists out there. I would just like make sure like, they have a good background and education in it. So
And one last thing before we close it out. Is it when I'm coming to come see you, because I'm ready to, the pills aren't working and the recipes aren't working and whatever, maybe not the recipes, but the pills aren't working and whatever. I've been doing this balance for years. Is there like something realistic I should have in my head? Like maybe I'm going to work on getting my cholesterol levels down, or maybe I may not be able to lose 20 pounds in a month, but maybe I can lose 5 pounds in a month. It's like,
yeah, stuff like that. I mean, you can lose the 10 pounds in a month. I've seen like more than that even, but it's about sustainability. Like
mhm,
so I would say like a steady weight loss would be like 1 to 2 pounds a week, and you'll have plateaus. But I try to like push through it. Like, yeah, but like what behavior? Like, look at maybe non-scale successes too. Like, oh, I have more energy. I feel better overall. Like, I've learned to listen to my hunger cues and my body to reach my health and weight loss goals. Like, um, so that is kind of where I lead people towards when they come see me is like changing their expectations. Although, by the way, cholesterol, I mean, I can get that to drop like 50 points before 3 months. Cholesterol
oh
is a lot easier to change than
yeah.
weight. It's like, so
Well, I mean, you dropped a lot of the knowledge. You dropped a lot of free game in 40 minutes. So I hope people who are in here got what they need. If they want to ask some questions real quick, they could do that. If not, I mean, there's the VOD is going to be on here as soon as we hit the end session. And then I'll have this on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. And I know you're going to post it on your stuff. So people all over the place will be able to see us talk and, hopefully they can connect with you some more.
yeah, definitely. I really appreciate you reaching out and interviewing me. This was a lot of fun.
Is there anything else you want to add that I maybe failing to ask you?
No, I feel like we had talked about a lot of things, and my information's out there, so anyone can find me. And then you can definitely reach out if you have other like more personal questions. I'm okay with all the platforms, email. Yeah, there's so many ways to reach out, and people frequently do. So
I know that can be a hassle.
yeah,
Well, thank you so much for your time. And thank you, Ritual Motion, for allowing this dope collab. Could not have done it without you guys. Like, once again, check this VOD out on the Ritual Motion page, on the up and coming page. And then you can go over to my YouTube channel and watch it over there once I finish editing and put it all together. Other than that, you guys have a beautiful Wednesday, and we'll be back. I think we'll be back next week, Wednesday. Let me go check with my interviewee. Other than
okay,
that, see you guys
okay.
later.